All right, it's time to do the Thursday on February 26th. This one is a debut by Yitzi Snow. I'm excited to see what Yitzi has to offer here. Very interesting grid as well. Very long answers here. Also, long answers going across here. This is quite uncommon to see in themed puzzles. Although, when you have themeless puzzles, this is more likely you have these long answers going across here. Let's just take a look at see if I can find the theme material here. System in which an x is smaller than L, or a hint to interpreting the answer to italicized clues. This look XL makes you think extra large and large, but I think this is 40 and 50 in Roman numerals. So I'm gonna go with Roman numerals. But this is a very clever way to have this hint because it's the revealer is meant to be a bit tricky, but I'm gonna go with this. Side dish eating with curry is roti. Round dish could be oval, so it's a bit round, but it's not perfectly circular. Malarkey, I don't know. To vibe with could be to gel with, I suppose. Gel with. So maybe it's not roti, maybe it's rice. Yeah, that's right. It's a side dish. Yeah, and there are many kinds of curries also. Rice definitely is an example. Based on my research, I can say maybe something like that. I'm gonna go with that. Some fancy footwork could be a jig. Malarkey could be jive. I think this might be like historically dubious or something. Maybe also not the best historical thing, but like I think when someone says like you're speaking jive, I think that's what it is. Like you're speaking malarkey. I don't know actually. But I know jive is a dialect, sort of similar to like pidgin. But you know, I won't say anything more because I think I might have like racially charged like historical implications. Behind there might be some behind this explanation that I'm giving. That might not be the actual explanation of why malarkey means jive. I'm just sort of guessing, but I won't say anything more about that. Walt Disney's middle name, I don't know. Workers who sing the opening number in Frozen. I remember it started on the ice, and I think they were just like digging up ice. I think those icemen. I'm gonna go with that. Queen of the Pride Lands. I don't know. Pride Lands. Oh, the Pride Lands. Maybe this is Lion King. Maybe it's Nala. Okay, so yeah, I think so because let's take a look at this. Walt Disney's middle name, EL could be something friendly look, a grin maybe. Ending of seven country names is Stan. A bit of mining equipment. Ore cart, perhaps? Similar to like a mine cart, I suppose. A friendly look could be a grin. I'm gonna go with that. And I think it's Elias. So Elias is a name, and fittingly enough, I don't think there's really a famous Elias uh beyond Walt Disney's middle name, which is interesting. I didn't know that, but it is a name. Questionable could be sus. Stomping at the Savoy, I do know that because it's one of my favorite songs, I would say, jazz standards to play also. Benny Goodman's Standard, yeah. This also was played quite a lot in I Love Lucy, which is a show I've watched all the time. Salon job could be a mani for a manicure. Assessment could be an eval for an evaluation, I suppose. Side dish eating with curry is roti, so it's okay. It wasn't this case; it was this case. It's a nice parallelism, and it's similar to I think Adam Aaronson's puzzle a few days ago, where I sort of saw the word levies as in levies taxes, and I sort of noted, hey, it's kind of interesting. There's a very different word levy, which means an embankment, and it just happened to be crossing that word. So it was a nice touch that the constructors did that. Natasha Romanoff, also known as Black Widow, I know this because I looked at this one writing a clue for Natasha myself. Uh, Patronize as an Airbnb. If you are a patron of Airbnb, or if you're a patron of a certain Airbnb, you would stay at that Airbnb. That's right. Patronize is just one of those words that puzzles love to use for some reason. Like a plane, informally, sorry. Like a plane, 2D. That's what it is. 2D informally is two dimensional. And of course, 3D would be space. To pokeball, sorry, poke blank, but in this case it's pokeball. Dudes could be bros. End of a proof is QED, quad erat demonstratum, and BBQ. That's right, barbecue. It's not pretty. It's an eyesore. Uh, Ba could be. I don't know why. For some reason, I'm gravitating towards Phi. It's such a strange answer. Let's just check this to see if this is happening. I think it actually is. It actually is a foot. I think Phi just has the same spirit, the same energy as Ba, because it's sort of literary. It's kind of old timey, and it just kind of means like oh fu kind of. I don't even know how to define it, you know. But it just has that vibe, and it seemed like happening is afoot, like something is afoot, something's happening right now. Wilted, peaceful state, and make some alterations. To make some alterations, I don't know. This similar to yesterday actually. At a minimum, uh, two words in the fill in the blank. Cambridge School, MIT, I suppose. What else is there in Cambridge? I don't know. To get, I don't know. Okay, I think it's about time I look at these long clues, and somehow it relates to Roman numerals. So, collectively, the reigns of all English monarchs named George. Collectively, the reign of all English monarchs named George. Superhuman strength, mind reading, invisibility, and 4 dozen other superpowers. 4 dozen other superpowers means 48 and 50. So, 51. So, this is in total 51 superpowers. And I see an LI here for 51. Does that have to do with it? Let's take a look at this. Mercury's mythological counterpart, and this is like a fish out of water. Half half-assed is subpar, slangily, I suppose. Title for a certain union member. Mrs. Yes, that's right. For a certain union member, makes you think it's a labor union, but this is more of a wedding. Mrs. Of course. Like a fish out of water. Sort of in unfamiliar territory. What's the word for that? I don't know. Hermes. That's what it is. Mercury's mythological counterpart, Hermes. What is this? To stall is to kill time, perhaps something time. I imagine with the me at the end. Loose as floorboards, unsecured or something. Let's look at what it is. Up to could be till, until something. Total on a Kiliagon. Oh, I've heard of Kiliagon. This is from a Vsauce short or something. A Kiliagon is like something with like a million sides or something. It's a polygon with a whole lot of sides. I think it's like Myriagon. Kiliagon, I think is 1,000. So 1,000 is M. And how does that relate here? Kiliagon is just some M something. Ballerina star is Ana de Armas. I haven't seen that name in a while, but it is Anna. You can stop right there at the end, maybe. I don't know. This looks like past time. To stall is to pass time. To remind too often. Maybe remind too often is to nag. Then what is this? Something time. It might not even be time, but I think it's time. Something time. On something. Loose as floorboards is on something. Dagnabbit. Oh, a million angles. Maybe it's mangles because of that. I was thinking sides, but of course, something with 1,000 sides also has 1,000 angles. So there it is. That's right. Like a fish out of water could be like a fish out of water is okay. So this is talking about I see. So it's a simile, and simile means like this construction. It's this kind of phrase in its entirety is a simile. And the way that I was reading this at first was like, what is like a fish out of water? You know, for example, what does it mean to be a fish out of water? So it was instead asking you to look at the entire phrase and say what that is an example of. It's interesting. So unveiled, loose as floorboards, unnailed. Sorry. I don't know why that was neg. It should have been nag. So it's unnailed, and you can stop right there as an in. In And what is this? To gain time, perhaps? Dag nabbit is I don't know what this is. But okay, this looks like this is some kind of like first the number in Roman numerals, and then you have the thing at the end. Something kings, right? The reigns of all English monarchs named George. I'm gonna go with this one for now. Oh, Vikings something, I think. Vikings, collectively the reigns of all English monarchs named George. Vikings something. I imagine because VI, of course, is Roman numeral. Suppose there were six of them. Um, Sudden attack. Sudden attack. Is this a servo? I think it was a servo. I only know this because I've only seen the word servo from a Brawl Stars character's description of his attack is a servo of coins. He's a sort of a grifter. He's a stingy business owner, and so he throws out coins as an attack, which is kind of ironic. Nicolas Cage film set on a plane. Something IR, midair. Could that be? It seems to be given the context of the clue. They like to give a little bit of hints, here and there, just kind of telling you. Measure amount in calorie intake. I've heard of that. Highland refusal. So okay, so you kind of see these kind of clues, which you kind of need to be in on the crossword lingo. This one has been the word nay shows up a lot because it's easy words, easy letters. It means no in Scots. Org that runs the L. The L is the Chicago thing, so I think it's the CTA. What is this? 8-4 is wait. Sorry. 8-4. Okay, how much is 8-4? 8 times 12 is 96 plus 4 is 100 inches. So 100 inches is cinches. So with a C, not an N. There it is. Okay, cinches. An alternative to a walk could be a hit. I think this might be a baseball thing. I wouldn't know actually. Short piece of classical music is a sonatina, shorter form of a sonata, and I think ENE is what this is. On a compass is ENE. That's right, because EN, the only letter that can come after here is E anyways. Okay, something Connor. Sarah Connor, the Terminator's target in the Terminator. That's right, Sarah Connor. There were 3 Sarah Connors in the phone book, and the main character, Sarah Connor, happened to be the third one. So so what was it? The Terminator. Yeah, sorry. The Terminator got to the first 2, and killed them successfully, and then the Sarah Connor, the real Sarah Connor, we're interested in, kind of just escaped. What is this? Lawn-tunned animal. Sarvo? Certainly not. Oh, salvo. Sorry, not servo. Salvo. I keep getting my words mixed up. So yes, actually the word salvo was the one that was I saw in the Brawl Stars character's description. Servo, on the other hand, is like a little, I think it's like a little engineering motor thing, a servo. It's sort of like a thing that can like rotate, I think, a servo. A salvo is what it is. Vikings, his something. Viking ships. Sorry, Viking ships. That's right. So kingships becomes Viking ships. Such an interesting way to change the word. Okay, so wilted, droopy maybe, and a peaceful state. Peaceful state. Don't know. Laudanum. I don't know. 250,000 sheets. What is something reams? Oh, so okay, so a ream is 1,000 sheets. So 200 and wait, how much is a ream? So D is 500. So 55,000. Wait, I can't do math anymore. I'm just gonna skip it, but it is dreams. Peaceful state. Rymos? That's not right. Repose, I think. Laudanum is an opiate. All right, I think it is. Make some alterations is the edit, and a red tie is an accessory for SpongeBob SquarePants. He wears a red tie. I think the reason for that is because you see a lot of old cartoons. The characters have sort of neckwear or something to distinguish the head from the body. It's a bit easier to animate So that's why you see things like if you look at like Scooby Doo, the characters in Scooby Doo, a lot of them have very distinct like like neckwear that distinguishes the head from the body. In particular, Scooby Doo himself, I think he has a tie, right? Scooby Doo has a tie. I know there were other animals that had ties. I think one of them was called Huckleberry Hound. Um, I only know that because he was known for having a tie, a bow tie that like nicely blocked off the top, like his head and then the rest of his body. So like he only wore a tie, like a bow tie, in order for it to be easier to animate. Um, and so with someone like SpongeBob, I think SpongeBob was long enough that they were hand drawing, um, perhaps, and they have like a bunch of stock poses um, below the head. So maybe SpongeBob used that strategy, and that's the reason why he has a red tie. I actually don't know. I'll have to take a look later. But yeah, so historically, the reason why a lot of things to do with the outfit of certain uh, characters, whether it be like gloves, like white gloves, or whether it be something around their neck to split the top and the bottom of their body. Those things were done like in old times when cartoons had to be hand drawn just to make it easier to animate. Let's see what else there is. A dirt bag sleeves, maybe? I don't know yet. Parts of the nave. The nave is the center part of the church. The parts next on the sides are the apses. The nave is the main section. So the aisle runs down a nave. So that's what it's going for. Like cats and dogs. Cats and dogs are mammal? I don't know. Shots informally. RXs, prescriptions? No, that's not right. Those are pills, not prescriptions. Not injections. Sorry. One south of the border. Uno. One south of the south of the border for the U.S. in particular. That's Mexico. So Spanish one. Uh, some rhombuses, some shapes, and there are 10 of them. So that should be X. What is that? X boxes, maybe. 10 boxes. And oh, that's right. They look like parallelograms, but of course they are italicized because these are all italic clues. So these really would have just been squares, but they just look kind of italicized boxes. I never thought I would see that in a puzzle, but there it is. Shots informally. Picks. All right, that's right. I was tricked by that on the Saturday, just like last week. It took me so long because I saw Instagram feed or something. It was 3 letters. I was so confused. Like, what could it be, like DMs? That's not right. But it's pics with an X. That's not gonna get me this time. To toss up, to lob maybe. A lob as in like in basketball. Charge is to ionize. Right. So maybe this is sleaze. I should have put that there before. Cats and dogs. They are plural examples of plural words. Grand Prix. That's what it is. Vexing could be pesky. Pesky question. My by gum maybe. Liabilities. Liabilities. 51 abilities. Okay, so here's what's going on. We have 100 inches. We have 50 reams. No, 500 reams. Sorry, 500. Wait, hold up. Yeah, 500 reams. We have 6 kingships. We have 51 abilities. We have 10 boxes, and we have 1,000 angles. Can I just say, like, I think that's just beautiful. Like, not only have we used at some point we've used all of the Roman numerals up until 1,000. I think I'm very impressed by this one in particular. The Viking ships and liabilities. Like, just beautiful. This one in particular, I think this one was just so cool. It's a nice find. And Roman numerals, while I have, sometimes it's fun to sort of play around and see if you can just get closer and closer here and not really know what the theme is, but just somehow I got the theme here. Just sort of a moment of inspiration. This one is a nice clue, I would say. System in which XL is smaller than L. Can I just say that's just a clever one. And I think you don't really get many chances to clue Roman numerals, but Yitzi did a good job here. And it was a clever one, but I did get it quite quickly, I would say. And even so, the theme just kept on giving because um, I was just impressed by a lot of the finds here. And of course, all the words outside of this were quite nice as well. Um, let's see if there were some question mark clues. You can talk about those ones. Seem to be you know, those ones are always the most interesting ones in my opinion. Title for a certain union member, MRS. So I think this is a good one because MRS is also quite a difficult clue to is quite a difficult word to clue. You have a lot of words that are very common and short. Words like him, her, Mrs., its. For instance, you might have a its, things like that, which are definitely words, or at least like well known enough. But it's actually quite difficult um, to clue them in a way without using them in a fill in the blank. So you actually will see a lot of, for instance, song titles that have Mrs. in them or has its or her, something like that, in the title, and that's just because it's not very natural to clue the word her, for instance, you know, unless you clue something else that means her. Like for instance, I think there's a singer named Her, so you would probably clue her like that instead if you wanted to have something that was a bit easier to clue, I suppose. Like it's definitely not the easy. It's sort of like trying to define the word the without using the word the itself. You know, like it's just very cyclical, and you're not really going to have a very good clue with that. This, on the other hand, Mrs. I think is a good clue because it's very specific to marriage, and I think title for a certain union member. I like these things. Of course, it has a sense of misdirection. It has a sense of purpose. Misses for being there, and everything here, like in the clue, has a purpose as well, for directing you towards the answer of Mrs. So this was a well executed question mark clue, and I think it was a good. It was an instance in which a sort of tricky word to clue has been, in a sense, saved. You know, by a good find of a clue. So it's a good elegant clue. I like it. Toss up. I think it's nice. Toss up, of course, normally would be expressed with a hyphen in the sense to sort of tell you that it's sort of a wash, like it's kind of 50-50. It's a toss up. That's what it means. But of course, toss up in this case, it's sort of in the opposite direction. You're not really going the figurative route. You're now just taking a figurative phrase and now just interpreting it in the most obvious way, where you actually have the word toss and you actually have the word up, and you find the word that goes with that, which, in my opinion, is still worthy of a question mark clue. It's a very elegant one at that. All right, nice puzzle. Thanks, Yitzi. This was a good debut. I'm excited to see more in the future, but that will be it for today.